Clint Eastwood was walking through downtown Carmel, California, on a quiet Tuesday afternoon, when he heard something that made him stop in his tracks. A young street musician was playing a haunting melody on a broken guitar, and the sound cut through the coastal air like a memory Clint thought he'd buried years ago. It was March 12, 2019, and Clint had just finished lunch at his favorite local restaurant. He was heading back to his car, lost in thought about his next film project, when the broken notes of a guitar drifted down Ocean Avenue. Most people walked past the musician without a second glance, but Clint stopped cold. He recognized that melody immediately. It was from The Unforgiven, a film he directed and starred in 27 years earlier. The street musician was a young man in his mid-20s, sitting cross-legged against the brick wall of a closed storefront. His guitar was in terrible condition. 3 of the 6 strings were broken, and the body had a crack running down its center that someone had tried to repair with duct tape. His guitar case lay open in front of him, with just a few coins and dollar bills scattered inside. A handwritten cardboard sign next to the case read, "Playing for food. Anything helps. God bless." What struck Clint wasn't just the broken guitar, or the young man's obvious poverty. It was the way he played. Despite having only 3 working strings, the musician was coaxing out the melody of Claudia's theme from The Unforgiven with such emotion and precision that it made Clint's chest tighten. The young man's eyes were closed, tears streaming down his face as he played, completely lost in the music. Clint stood there for a full minute, just listening. A small crowd had started to gather, maybe 15 or 20 people, all stopping to hear this broken guitar create something beautiful. Nobody recognized Clint at first. He was wearing a simple baseball cap in casual clothes, looking like any other resident of Carmel, running afternoon errands. The musician's fingers moved across the fretboard with practiced precision, finding notes that shouldn't have been possible with a guitar in that condition. He was bending strings, using alternate tunings, making that broken instrument sing in ways that defied logic. Clint, who had worked with some of the greatest musicians in film history, recognized immediately that this wasn't just some amateur busker. This young man had real talent, real training, and real pain behind every note. When the song ended, the small crowd applauded politely, and a few people dropped bills into the guitar case. The musician opened his eyes, wiped away his tears with the back of his hand, and nodded his thanks. He was about to start another song when Clint Eastwood walked straight toward him. The crowd parted as Clint approached. The musician looked up, squinting against the afternoon sun, not yet recognizing who was standing in front of him. Clint didn't say a word. He just reached down and gently took the broken guitar right out of the young man's hands. The musician's eyes went wide with confusion and fear. "Sir, please. That's all I have." "Stand up," Clint said quietly, his voice carrying that familiar growly tone that had commanded attention in dozens of films. The young man stood slowly, uncertainty and worry written all over his face. The crowd had gone silent now, watching this unexpected confrontation unfold. Some people had their phones out, starting to record, though they still hadn't recognized Clint. Clint turned the guitar over in his hands, examining the damage. He ran his fingers over the broken strings, the cracked body, the worn fretboard. Then he looked at the young man and said something that made everyone lean in to hear. "Do you know who wrote this music?" The musician nodded, his voice shaky. "Lenny Niehaus for the movie The Unforgiven. It's my favorite film score of all time." "Why?" Clint asked, still holding the guitar, the young man's eyes filled with tears again. "Because it's about redemption, about a man trying to escape his violent past. About finding peace after doing terrible things." His voice cracked. I needed to hear that message. Something in Clint's expression softened. "What's your name, son?" "Marcus. Marcus Chen." "Where'd you learn to play like that?" "Marcus V." Marcus looked down at his worn shoes. "Berklee College of Music. I graduated 3 years ago. Top of my class in jazz guitar." He laughed bitterly. "Lot of good that did me." "What happened?" Clint's voice was gentle, not judgmental. Marcus took a deep breath. "My mom got sick. Cancer. I came back to California to take care of her. Used all my savings for her treatment. She died anyway 6 months ago. I couldn't afford rent after that. Couldn't get session work because I didn't have an address. Couldn't. He trailed off, gesturing helplessly at his surroundings. This is where I ended up. The crowd was completely silent now. Some people had tears in their eyes. Several had finally recognized Clint Eastwood, and the realization was spreading through the group in whispers. Clint stood there holding Marcus' broken guitar, and for a long moment, he didn't say anything. Then he did something that shocked everyone watching. He sat down on the sidewalk right there in the middle of downtown Carmel with the broken guitar in his lap. This guitar, Clint said, examining it again, has 3 broken strings. But you were playing a melody that requires all 6. How? Marcus sat down across from him, no longer afraid. You adapt. You find the notes where they shouldn't be. You make the instrument do things it wasn't designed to do. He paused, meeting Clint's eyes. You work with what you have, not what you wish you had. Clint nodded slowly, a slight smile crossing his face. That's exactly right. He adjusted his grip on the guitar. Can I try? Marcus nodded, stunned. The crowd had grown to maybe 50 people now, all of them completely silent, watching Clint Eastwood sit on a sidewalk with a homeless musician's broken guitar. Clint's fingers found the strings and he began to play. But he wasn't playing Claudia's theme. He was playing something else, something older and more haunting. It took Marcus a moment to recognize it. It was the Ecstasy of Gold by Ennio Morricone from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And somehow, impossibly, Clint was making that broken guitar sing. He was using techniques Marcus didn't even know existed, finding harmonics and overtones in places that shouldn't have produced sound. The music soared out over Ocean Avenue, stopping traffic, drawing more people out of shops and restaurants. Someone in the crowd said, "Oh my God, that's Clint Eastwood." And the whispers spread like wildfire. When Clint finished playing, the crowd erupted in applause. But Clint wasn't looking at them. He was looking at Marcus, whose face showed pure amazement. "You want to know why I stopped?" Clint asked, handing the guitar back to Marcus. "It wasn't because you were playing my film's music, though that certainly got my attention." He paused. "It was because you were playing through your pain. Real pain. And you were doing it with a broken instrument that most musicians would have thrown away." Clint's voice got quieter. "You know what that tells me? It tells me you're the kind of musician I've been looking for." Marcus looked confused. "Sir, I don't understand." Clint reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. "I'm starting work on a new film next month. Small project, nothing like the old days, but I need original guitar music for it. Jazz-influenced, emotional, raw." He looked at Marcus. "You interested in composing for me?" The color drained from Marcus's face. "Mr. Eastwood, I don't even have a place to live." "That's the easy part," Clint said, standing up and helping Marcus to his feet. "I own some rental properties here in Carmel. One of them is sitting empty. You can stay there while you work on the score." He looked at the broken guitar, "And we'll get you a proper instrument. Several of them." Marcus couldn't speak. Tears were streaming down his face again, but these were different tears. The crowd was openly crying now. Phones recording this entire exchange. "But here's the deal," Clint continued, his tone becoming more serious. "I'm not doing this because I feel sorry for you. I'm doing this because you have talent that the world needs to hear. You've been through hell. And instead of giving up, you sat on a sidewalk and made broken things beautiful. That's the kind of artist I want to work with." Marcus finally found his voice. "I won't let you down." "I know you won't," Clint said, "because you've already proven you can create music with 3 broken strings and a cracked guitar. Imagine what you'll do when you have every resource you need." What happened next became the stuff of Carmel legend. Clint didn't just walk away after making his offer. He stayed there on that sidewalk for another hour talking with Marcus about music, about film, about loss and redemption. He called his assistant and arranged for Marcus to be set up in a rental property that very day. He called a music store in Monterey, and had them deliver 3 professional guitars to the property, before Marcus even arrived. But the most remarkable thing Clint did was this. He asked Marcus if he could keep the broken guitar. "Why?" Marcus asked, confused. Clint looked at the damaged instrument with something like reverence. Because this guitar represents something important. It represents what you were willing to do with nothing. It represents the art you created when you had every reason to quit. He paused. I want to hang it in my studio. I want it there to remind me that real artists don't need perfect conditions. They just need the courage to play. Marcus handed Clint the broken guitar, and the two men shook hands. The crowd applauded again. But quietly, respectfully, as if they understood they were witnessing something sacred. The video of this encounter went viral within hours. Multiple people had recorded different angles, and the combined footage told the complete story. By the next morning, it had been viewed over 10 million times. The comment sections were filled with people sharing their own stories of struggle, of broken things being made beautiful, of unexpected kindness from unexpected sources. But here's the part that most people don't know, the part that makes this story even more remarkable. Marcus Chen did compose the score for Clint's film. It was a small independent project called The Last Mile, released in 2020. The soundtrack was nominated for multiple awards and launched Marcus' career as a film composer. Within 2 years, he was working on major studio productions, his music appearing in films that played in theaters around the world. But Marcus never forgot that day on Ocean Avenue. He started a foundation called Broken Strings that provides instruments, housing assistance, and career support to homeless musicians. The foundation's logo is a guitar with 3 broken strings. To date, it has helped over 300 musicians get back on their feet. Clint kept his promise too. That broken guitar hangs in his private studio at his Carmel property. He's been photographed with it numerous times, and in every interview where someone asks about it, he tells Marcus's story. That guitar reminds me why I make films, Clint has said more than once. It's not about the money or the awards. It's about creating something beautiful, even when everything around you is broken. Marcus still performs on Ocean Avenue once a year on March 12th, the anniversary of his meeting with Clint. He sits in the same spot against that brick wall, but now he plays with perfect instruments and he plays for free. All the money people leave in his guitar case goes directly to the Broken Strings Foundation. And every year, Clint Eastwood shows up, sits on the sidewalk with him, and they play together for an hour while crowds gather to witness this annual ritual. The last time they performed together in 2024, Marcus turned to Clint and said, "You saved my life that day." Clint shook his head. "No, son. You saved your own life by refusing to stop playing. I just gave you a better guitar." Today, that viral video from 2019 has been viewed over 50 million times. It's been shared in music schools, homeless shelters, and film classes around the world. It's been turned into a short documentary, a motivational speech, and even a stage play. But the real impact isn't measured in views or shares. The real impact is measured in the hundreds of musicians who saw that video and decided not to give up. It's measured in the guitars donated to homeless shelters, in the music programs funded, in the lives changed by the simple act of one person stopping to listen when everyone else walked past. Because that's what this story is really about. It's not about a famous director helping a homeless musician, though that's certainly part of it. It's about recognizing beauty and broken things. It's about stopping in the middle of your busy day to really see another human being. It's about understanding that sometimes the most incredible art comes from the most desperate circumstances. Clint Eastwood could have walked past that day. He had every reason to. He was busy. He was focused on his own projects. And one more homeless musician on a street corner wasn't his responsibility. But he stopped. He listened. And by stopping, he changed not just Marcus Chen's life, but the lives of countless others who were inspired by that simple act of human connection. There's a plaque now in downtown Carmel placed by the Broken Strings Foundation that marks the spot where Clint and Marcus first met. It reads, "On this spot, a broken guitar made beautiful music. May we all have the courage to play through our pain and the wisdom to stop and listen when others do the same." Every day, dozens of people stop to read that plaque, to take photos, to remember the story. And every day somewhere in the world, someone with a broken instrument decides to keep playing, believing that maybe, just maybe, someone will stop to listen. That's the legacy of a Tuesday afternoon in March when Clint Eastwood stopped in the middle of a busy street, took a broken guitar from a homeless musician's hands, and showed the world that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply pay attention to the beauty that others overlook. If this story of unexpected compassion and the power of stopping to truly see another person moved you, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that broken things can still create beauty. Have you ever had a moment when someone stopped to really see you when everyone else walked past? Share your story in the comments below, and don't forget to ring that notification bell for more incredible true stories about humanity at its finest.